What's up, everybody? Eagle here. Sorry about the late start. Hopefully, people's jump on. Looks like we got a few coming on. So we will have a that Gleam giveaway at the end of this stream, probably here at the top of the hour. So definitely keep on for that. We are giving away. See if I can go ahead and pull this up. Sorry, guys. Let me try this. Perfect. We are giving away CSP 68L backpack, both the Cayman and the night camo. So this was a subscriber flare. So definitely get on that. And like I said, we'll be giving that away here shortly. Just a quick. Sorry, guys, just realized you can't hear me. Awesome. Nope, I was there. So, uh, this is the org we're part of right now. So, if you guys are looking for an org, definitely reach out. Hop in the Discord if you already haven't. We're going to start doing ops and all of that stuff. I do want to go back over. We do have signups for the Daymore Rally right now. I'm not sure I have that video again. That is open right now, so that closes, I think, the beginning of January. So if you're interested, definitely hop on. We'll have a buggy team for sure already filled out. If you know anybody that wants to run bikes, we definitely have that capacity too. So definitely jump on if you guys are interested in that. And we'll get started. So I just wanted to do a quick kind of stream over this roadmap roundup. So we all know from CitizenCon Direct that Nyx is the next big system. And sorry, I should. Well, sorry guys, I absolutely hate Google stuff. You would think it would be a little bit easier to get this stuff done. View mode editing. Let's see, fit. There we go, perfect. All right, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so just wanted to go over the Nyx system. This is going to be the next system. It's supposed to be out at the beginning of next month, and we'll see that through the roadmap roundup. So I'll get right into it. Perfect. So this is the roadmap roundup. This is from 1022. We'll have another video on that probably Sunday. And sorry if you guys can't hear me. I'll move this up a little bit. Set up the way I usually like it. So kill shot rifle, of course, the pulverizer that's going to be there. VCK1, that's the new blade. But 4.40 is what we're really looking at here. So boom tube, of course, that was the missile launcher that was shown at CitizenCon Direct. But if you go through here, you now have a Nyx mission. That's first pack 1. So that's just the basic missions. It looks like still going to use the same archetypes from Pyro and Stanton. So I doubt anything too new. They're just going to have a new narrative. So they'll have the new Vandal. I'm not even 100% sure you're going to see the body of the pilot, but we'll see how that works out. Nyx jump points, of course, we have one in Pyro and one in Stanton. I think originally there was just supposed to be one in Pyro, so that was kind of a bummer. NPC pilots, like I said, for the Stinger, Glaive, Scythe, and Blade. Sworn Enemies is the first mission that we'll look into. New operation welcoming players to Nyx. Intersect is looking for willing contractors and to investigate abandoned QV logistics stations. Follow the trail of Vandal tech that's sold. So just going back, we'll go ahead and get started actually. So just wanted to go over a few things. Citizen Con Direct, of course, does not work. There we go. All right, so this was Citizen Con Direct. I am going to fast forward and we are going to watch what they have to say.
So we've talked about Lesky, we've talked about the Glacian Belt, but you're probably asking yourself, what's the new gameplay activity we're going to be doing? So let's find out.
Welcome to Nyx is your first experience in a new space station in a new solar system.
It's a mystery to be solved. There's things for the player to explore and look into. There's going to be some twists and turns, of course, some combat, and if you're lucky enough to survive, maybe some good rewards.
This is basically a continuation of kind of our ASD storyline. So in the closing out what we had called our Science Run Amok storyline, we had revealed that ASD had been procuring sort of very black market illegal stuff in order to conduct their experiments. So this mission is basically going to be continuing on that trail.
So the Navy has learned that illegal tech is being sold in the UAE, and they're hiring Intersect to investigate. Intersect Defense Solutions is the leading military defense contractor in the UAE. So the Navy contracts with them a lot for doing various kind of military operations that they don't want to handle themselves. We didn't want players to be working directly for the Navy. The Navy just doesn't call up random citizens and ask like, hey, if you're free, can you fly a helicopter? I guess as a player, when you can think about like, oh, where am I going to be doing missions that are capital ship battles or large fleet scale stuff or military operations, that's all going to come from Intersect Defense Solutions. Intersect have discovered the source of the illegal tech is in the Nyx system and an old abandoned QV Planet Services logistics station that's come back online.
So they want the players to figure out what's going on.
So when you come out of Quantum and you start your approach vector to the objective, you'll be weaving through asteroids, going through the Glacian Belt, and slowly the station will reveal itself. Now this is an old QV logistics station. It's pretty beat up, it's pretty derelict, but there's some points of interest that you'll spot as you go through. So the station itself shares design cues from old Pan Am stations found in Pyro. This architectural design found its way over to the Nyx system as the system was being established, but you'll also see some additional design cues that QV planetary services were adding, so it's a nice transition architectural point. It's fairly skeletal in design. You'll see logistics yards and cargo yards, but also facilities pinned inside the asteroid, creating this network of facilities. You'll notice there's a Polaris near the main hub. It's not a normal Polaris. It's damaged, it's broken. It's not a standard corporate Polaris. So at this point, you should be asking yourself, who does this belong to? Away from the Polaris, you'll see struts leading to asteroid bases. Now these asteroid bases are locked, so you don't know exactly what's inside just yet. But all of this comes together to form the playground for the mission to take place. So not only is this facility unabandoned, but it's also under attack from a surprising but familiar foe.
First time in the PU, the Vandal.
So the Vandal are a nomadic, very, very, very violent spacefaring race.
They've been striking out against outposts and such in the Nyx system. They don't really know what they want, don't know why they're doing it, but it seems like whoever's running the station is really pissed them off.
Vandal raiding parties have been arriving in the system, and they're unaffiliated to any clan. There's small groups coming in and picking at them. But as time goes on, those raids are getting bigger and more frequent.
There'll be the scythes that you're familiar with, glaives and blades that we all know and hate, and a new craft for the PU, the Vandal Stinger.
You will be contacted by some civilians on arrival asking you for help.
So at this point, you have a choice. You can either bug out, mission over, or join the fight. This will be the first time since the PU launched that you'll be able to fight against Vandal aggressor ships.
This fight will be intense. The player should be able to deal with them, but they will have to be prepared and they'll have to come back in to fight off this initial wave, and that won't be the end of it.
After you fight off the Vandal ships, the mysterious inhabitants of the station invite you to come on board.
Which Intersect sort of will encourage you to do because it'll help further their investigation against what's happening here, why these QV stations have come back online.
You dock your ship, you board the station, and it turns out the inhabitants here have a real surprise for you.
The player will be immediately ambushed. These guys are not your friends.
Of course, it's not going to be easy because the people that are inhabiting the station are going to fight you every step of the way.
The fight will be challenging, but this definitely will be the warm-up phase of this mission. This will be the players getting a sense of what exactly is going on there, who these new people are. They'll be in unfamiliar armor, they'll be wielding unfamiliar weapons, and we want you to get a sense that you are in a new place, in a new territory, fighting a new faction.
So after you survive this initial ambush, you get back in touch with Intersect, and obviously the question is, who are these people? Why are they attacking? Why are the Vandal attacking them?
At this point, there's more going on here than anyone thought. The directive from Intersect is to explore the station and collect as much information as you possibly can.
Along the way, you're going to get to explore some new areas.
It's not just the space station. There's the disabled capital ship. There's asteroid bases nearby with obvious installations there, other forces that the Vandal have been attacking. There's a debris field.
Explore the locations in any order you want and try to find out who these people are and why the Vandal are after them.
You'll find new clues. You'll find ways to solve the puzzle of what's going on at the space station and find out what kind of loot they have for you now that you've beat them.
And of course, this is a legally open station, so anything you find is yours to keep and sell, maybe even give to Wicklow. This isn't just a one-time event, this is a permanent sort of mission that we're going to be adding to the game.
You can go back and repeat this mission and find ways to do it even better, even faster.
There'll be a different story and different flavor. Obviously, we can't have the same thing happen every time. There'll be other missions that Intersect will offer to you based on the evidence that you found.
Now you know the real story, and you can start digging and giving more information to Intersect along the way.
I'm super excited to finally see the Vandal in the PU.
I'm excited to bring cool Vandal ship combat to SC.
Players in the PU will now get to face down these awesome ships and get a taste of like we already have it in Arena Commander, where you get to fight the Vandal swarm, and being able to do that in the PU is going to be, I think, a heck of a lot of fun.
So this marks a great milestone for us for not only pushing hard and adding great content this year, we're also being able to introduce the next Star System and introducing the next landscape to tell new stories and add new gameplay beats into the ever-expanding universe. So we'll leave 4.4 there. If you're at one of the watch parties, please raise a toast to the great work that all the teams have been doing this year. And I'll be right back in just a few minutes to look ahead at some of the things coming in 2026.
Perfect. So yeah, that was just a quick update on the new starting mission that they're going to have that in that roadmap roundup, which is sworn enemies. So it looks like it's going to be pretty fun. Intersect was named a few times in that. It looks like there's also some QV logistics stations. We still don't really know the storyline on that. We'll get to. I think there was one mention of QV at another location here, or at another topic down here. So we'll get into that here in a bit. And it looks like Vandal Tech was being sold to ASD, so that's kind of tracking that down. So now, just to get into the next system, I will go back here. So this is what we have on Nyx so far. Just a quick overview. It is an unclaimed planetary system. Of course, borders unusual dense and dark stellar cloud. That stellar cloud's how I guess the Vandal will get in and attack as well. Consists of an F-type main sequence of stars orbited by 3 planets and an asteroid belt. Currently, due to the cloud's interference, navigational equipment travel through the system is difficult and hazardous. Main settlement, of course, as we all know, is Levski, located on the moon asteroid in the Glacium Ring. It's considered a haven for the humans who wish to live beyond the reach of the United Empire of Earth, or UEE. So currently, those are all the jump point connections. So it was supposed to be Bremen, Castra, Odin, looks like Pyro, Tohill, and Virgil. So we know we have Pyro. They've also included apparently Stanton. So it's not my favorite thing. Right now, I'm not going to go through the locations. I just know there is, well, I will here in a second, I guess. I'm not going to go through the planets since those won't be in right now. But Nyx 1, Nyx 2, Nyx 3, those are the 3 main planets. Then you'll have Delamar. That's the moon. The Glacium ring is a ring of asteroids, and then a Keeker ring as well. I haven't really checked too much on that, but that's just a brief overview, and we will get into the other stuff here shortly. So Glacium ring, as we were talking about, that's the next main feature of Nyx. Dense asteroid belt located between the 2nd and 3rd planets in the Nyx system. So that'd be Nyx 2 and Nyx 3. Outlaw raids and Nyx are believed to operate out of the bases established within the depths of the belt. And we saw that there were a few of those locations that we'll have to actually go into on the first part of the mission when we get into Nyx. Largest settlement is Levski, located on Delamar, and that's the asteroid the size of a small moon. So that's pretty cool stuff. On to Delamar. Inhabited asteroid located in the Glacium Ring of the Nyx system. 2655, a group of political dissenters against the United Empire of Earth. So this is kind of telling you the storyline of. I've lost it, but it's the People's Alliance. Yes, sorry about that. So it's telling the story behind those guys. They moved into an abandoned mining facility on Delmore and formed an independent community called People's Alliance. Called their new settlement Levski, and after the 19th century revolution, Delamore is the most densely populated and heavily trafficked location within Nyx. Serves as a hub for hub for many of the miners who continue to work the asteroids with Glacium Ring for resources. So that's the big location. Getting into actual Levski, which, as we said, is in Delmore, or on Delmore. Levski is the permanent independent settlement located on Delmore in the Nyx system, built out of the remains of the abandoned QV Plant Services mining facility. So there's that QV that we've seen again, QV Planet Services. I will have to check more into that. I haven't actually been able to find that anywhere. It was founded in SEY 2655 by a group of human political dissenters. We've kind of already went over that. Residents of the fledgling egalitarian community, pirates, smugglers, and other outlaws have been known for their frequent Levski as well, in spite of opposition from the People's Alliance. So those QV services stations, those are where those first missions are supposed to happen. Abandoned QV stations across Nyx, now occupied by an enemy faction. Still don't quite know what the name of the enemy faction is. We were trying to find that earlier. Could not find that. So these are kind of the locations, the main locations that we will be looking at. As far as the factions that you'll be playing against or with, right now, QV services, QV, we don't really know what that is. Um, the weapons that you will find in the first mission or in that armor, I've been looking. I haven't been able to find anything on that either. So those are two big question marks there for me. As far as People's Alliance, I kind of believe we already went through that. I won't go over too much. They founded the settlement in Delmore in the Nyx system. Named it Levski. Welcomed anyone fleeing the rule of the Messers. And if you don't know that whole lore behind the Messers and all of that, definitely check out one of Astro Historian's videos, but won't go too far into that. Of course, we do have the Vandal. So that's going to be the next enemy race. I think everybody knows about the Vandal. So I'm not going to go too much into that. They are hostile to most other organisms, I guess. Uh, they do have a trading relationship with the Banu, but hopefully we'll get into that at a later date. But yeah, so the kind of a warrior culture there, operating clans. All of those clans are self-governing. Pretty cool lore behind that stuff, though, for sure. Then we do have Intersect Defense Solutions. And this is just a quick thing, just an update from CitizenCon Direct, actually. But they are a private military company, leading defense contractor for the UAE now, I guess. Mainly provides a scalable, expendable, and deniable force from the UAE Navy. So that's just kind of contracting out bounty hunters. I guess we're the bounty hunters in that case, or mercenaries. But yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Intersect Defense Solutions. Before we go back to the CitizenCon, I am going to try to go back to the roadmap. So we talked about the Glacium Ring, talked about Delamar, Levski, QV services, not too worried about the battle tech and all of those. So it looks like we've covered pretty much everything from that. So we do have actually we have three more locations that we need to talk about, or three missions that they talked about. There's the Shiv, Live for Manchester, Crafted Experience. So I did not have this on my video, but this is instancing. So I think two Citizen Cons ago, they actually said that Area 18 was supposed to have instancing, or a little location underneath. I forgot what exactly those were called. They've since changed that to Levski, so Levski's supposed to have instancing. Probably not a main part of the story, but I will go ahead and play that.
But what about us? Where do we get to hone in and craft a bespoke experience here and there, specifically tailored to individual or small group play? Well, that's where instancing comes in. And I'm going to let Benji tell you a little bit more.
We're bringing instancing to Star Citizen in 2026. Why are we doing it, and how will it work? So if you've played any content in 2025 in Star Citizen, you know that most of these areas were in actual PvP zones where other players could interfere. Instancing is a means to create an environment where designers can create tailored content that's tuned to a specific group size, but it is also protected from outside interference. It's not to say that we don't love PvP. I'm a PvP guy. PvP me, bro. But like most MMOs, a good balance between a dangerous overworld and a protected instances is needed. Right now, we don't have this ability, and this is something we really need in order to give you a sense of progression that is tailored and balanced to a tunable amount of groups, so the difficulty matches the group size. There's a beginning and an end. It doesn't mean that that doesn't fit in our overworld strategy, meaning getting to the instance is dangerous, exiting the instance is dangerous, or can be interfered with others. But at least when you're playing the content, we can actually make something that's curated for one experience. So before anybody says this is only a PvE thing, This technology can also be applied to unlock curated PvP experiences that are as seamless as the PvE ones. So it's not about one thing or the other, it's really about unlocking developers' ability to create curated content. So that said, how will it work? Instancing is really an evolution over static to dynamic meshing. We want your instances to be as seamless as your instance hangers, meaning that when you take an elevator, you exit the elevator, you're inside the instance. A gateway opens, you cross that gateway, you're now into your instances. Could be also a quantum jump into an instance that you don't even see. The transition is just like a dynamic mesh transition. And so throughout the universe, we will be able to add these areas that are open or closed instances that allow you to join in either with a party and have a reserved instance for your party, or join in open instances that has a number of slots. And so some of those areas will be completely instanced on different servers. This allows us to leverage the compute power of the entire mesh. The closed ones will be really to drive one piece of content. You enter and exit seamlessly, just like we do with your instance hangers currently. Let's go and find out what one of our first instances will be.
Siege of Arzen was an event we did previously, which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Arzen. This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you and a small group to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization and take back control. So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about a 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back and be the sniper and pick people off who are a bit further to make the advance easier. Some of you will be the medic whose sole job is going to be revive and look after the rest of your team and the health of them. And some of you will be the people who push for the objectives to try and get sort of most of the mission done. The event was designed for about 15 to 30 people, but when we released it, we fixed the problem with 2 DGSs on one server that was fighting for resources. And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was a massive operation at the time. I think that bringing it back and giving it a refresher will be a fantastic addition back into the PU.
So imagine if Siege was a instance that you could go in and play solo, or if it was a public event that you could go with your friends, or you could join up with random players on the server. There's lots of ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
Alright, sorry guys, backed it up. We kept it going a little bit too far. I was trying to do some stuff on the side. So that's the Siege experience, and we did forget about the rock. So this is another mission that should be coming in. Probably a little bit after, kind of like the Align in Mine.
At the
but
start
we'll
of
go
the
over
show,
that
we said
quickly.
we was
I think
going
it's
to
only a
build out
few
the Nyx
minutes.
system right in front
Yeah,
of
well,
you.
it looks like it's about
as the
3 minutes
4.4
long.
launches next month, and why we want to keep as much of what we're doing behind closed doors so you can discover it for yourself, in-game and on your own. We still are excited to share with you a brief look at one of our up-and-coming locations we're calling Rockcracker. Okay, so Rockcracker, Jared, is our internal name.
Rockcracker is where you have to crack a rock. It's a big rock. You want more?
So way out into the Kiga Belt, you'll find these old QV breaker stations. These these were originally industrial facilities breaking apart large asteroids and mining them down. But since they've been mothballed and been left abandoned, so you're going to have to find your way inside and thinking about how do we bring this facility back to life. It's not just about flipping a switch. As you bring these stations back to life, you'll be lighting the beacon and calling attention to these long forgotten places.
One of the main features is the laser head, which will require certain things to get working. It's up to you and your friends to find how to get in.
There'll be a variety of options. Whether you're discovering the bowels of the station and mining your way through long-forgotten tunnels, or you're going through the main laser entrance. Now, as you're traversing through the facility, you'll find the old engine room. Now, there may be ways to bring the facility back to life, kickstart the engines, and bring power to different parts of the facility. Maybe eventually bringing the laser back online and cracking some rocks.
The secondary gameplay loop is FPS combat. You're not there by yourself.
There may be squatters and outlaws in these stations trying to stop you from what you want to do.
So you've found these old facilities, you've brought them back to life. You've systematically brought power to various functions of the facility. You've activated the laser. You've fired the laser. You've broken apart the rock. And then you'll be able to fly your ship inside and see what's there.
So you fly a ship into an asteroid?
Yeah. You just get into your ship and fly in and start searching around and trying to find the pieces that you want to mine.
I'm really excited about Rockracker because it's a sandbox activity. You can kind of go to these whenever you want to.
This content is for players who enjoy mining, who enjoy exploration, investigation, and don't mind a little bit of FPS content while they're there.
It will be very new experience compared to any other asteroids, because this one, kind of like Alan and mine, will crack open and show its secret.
And one presumes you can make a decent amount of scratch in an asteroid that's big enough you fly your spaceship into it.
It wouldn't be worth doing if you couldn't make a good amount of coin. Yeah.
Making promises for the econ team.
Yeah. They've got to balance it.
It's for people who want a lot of minerals. When crafting comes in, when all the other mechanics and features that we want in the game for 1.0 come in, it will be a place where like an organization or a group of like 5-6 people could come and just get a monumental amount of minerals.
So that's a look at some of what's coming over the next 12 months.
All right, guys.
In addition to what we've shown, there'll be
thing left to think, and that is the new tactical strike group. New tactical strike group mission that's supposed to be coming midway through next year. So it looks like we've got about 12 minutes left for that giveaway. So thanks for everybody to hopping on today. Like I said before, if you guys weren't on, we are going to do the referral thing. Looking for 3 people to kind of give those ship packages away to. We're going to have these Gleam giveaways hopefully weekly. Try to get some more people on as well. For those giveaways, you do have to be in chat at the time of draw to actually be in for the chance of getting those rewards. And then yeah, we're going from there. So we'll go ahead and go to the last mission. So if you just jumped on, we did go over quite a bit what's happening in Nyx and all of that stuff. So this is really the last thing going on, and then we'll have a quick discussion later.
So the persistent universe has existed for over 10 years now. During that time, we've created lots of gameplay systems, we've added hundreds of locations, we've added lots of mission activities for different purposes: combat, cargo, mining, salvaging. But for combat ships, the only thing you've been able to do is fight other combat ships. In 2026, this changes. We're going to be delivering a spaceship-focused activity space which incentivizes the use of different gameplay roles. These are going to be scenarios where you're going to have to plan and strategize and create operational tactics to overcome your objective. So what you're going to see is very early. It's early in the pipeline process, and it's going to come online about mid next year. But we're really excited about the content we're creating, so we want to share with you a super early look at what we're building in a space we're calling Tactical Strike Groups.
The People's Alliance are still trying to get to the bottom of what this new faction is really doing in the Nyx system.
They've sent a capital ship to check out a station and run it into more than they can take care of themselves.
Unfortunately, that team came under attack and members of their groups were taken hostage. Now they've reached out to Intersect, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot. Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid, kind of broken asteroid, and on this you will have this space where you will find three big arms. You will see in the middle, you will have this big energy core. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
You'll see a People's Alliance-owned Idris that's just on the outside, and it's going to be getting harassed by this unknown faction that you have met before.
So your first objective here is to clear out the ships. There'll be waves of these ships, so this is where you want your light or your medium or your heavy fighters, whichever playstyle you prefer.
So while one part of your group is dealing with the fighters, now it's time to actually assault the station.
This station has been outfitted to resist all of the obvious way of attacks.
Somehow they've incorporated Vanduul capital ship killing turrets. These turrets ignore small fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
Your Polaris and your Idris, if you get it close, it will get shredded. The idea of these is so we can sort of make it so we can mix up that ship combat, and not everyone can just bring the biggest ship and win just because they have the biggest ship.
You have to send out your best pilots to navigate the superstructure and take down anything that may damage your bigger ships. So at this point you're thinking, destroy the turrets, but it's not that easy. This turret has shields that you've never seen before. It won't take any kind of damage. Your missiles won't do anything, your lasers won't do anything, your ballistics won't do anything to them. But like everything, they do have a weakness. You have to cut the power to their shields. To do that, that actually brings you to your first objective, the power relays.
So the exterior has a number of power relays that are holding the doors closed so that you can't get in.
You have to find them, you have to target them, and you have to destroy them. But it may not be as easy as it seems.
Here's our first wrinkle. The power relays have their own shields that are resistant to energy-based attacks.
We know how much you like using laser repeaters, but so do these guys.
Capital ship can't get close enough because of the turrets.
So ships with explosive or ballistic ordnance will be needed here. That's torpedo ships like your Retaliator or Gladiator, or even another fighter with ballistics loadout. That's going to take you a while.
Once the power relays have been taken down, the station opens up.
And this is where things get really cool.
Now it's time for you to fly your ship inside the station.
Yeah, you, in your ship, fly into the superstructure of this station.
How cool is that?
I feel like this is a proud dad moment. Thank you, Jared.
We're just going to call it what it is. It's a trench run.
Trench run.
So as you enter the structure, you'll see cooling units along the sides that you'll need to take out. There's 3 arms to the station that have these trenches. You'll fly into one, and then there'll be a core in the center, and then you'll move out another trench.
You're either gonna do it multiple times, or you need to bring friends.
At this point, the core is still protected, so these are essentially strafing runs.
There are objects to avoid. You're going to have to be able to dodge. You're going to have to move quickly. You need an agile ship.
Because the shield generator that you're targeting is emitting lots of distortion damage.
So once the cooling units are out, that exposes the core to overheat, which means that you can attack it from the inside and also from exhaust ports on the outside of the station. This core is armored and just takes a whole lot of damage. Once the power core goes down, the turrets come down, and then the capital ships can get closer. Why is that important? Because during all of this, you spend a lot of ammo and munitions and ballistics, and you're going to want to top up.
This is where we're gonna get our new feature in. Ship hangar refueling and rearming. You're going to be able to land in the hangar of select ships and be able to use the same interface as you are right now at stations to refuel and rearm.
It's specifically for ships like the Idris and the Polaris and other ships that are designed to have other ships land inside them.
Of course, it'll be more than just those 2 ships, and you'll find out more once we get closer to release. But this is a really important feature that we're really excited to get out.
If you're not bringing your own Idris, the People's Alliance has an Idris there that can provide a safe port in a storm, allow you to set back up and head back out.
And it's a good thing that you've rearmed and refueled too, because now another group of ships is coming to attack the People's Alliance Idris. So while the fighters are protecting the Idris, what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
Now you've got to take a fire team in. You've got to land, you've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station. After you've opened the doors and that person's taken off, you've just got to make sure they get to safety.
So at this point, all of this sounds pretty simple, but there's an additional complication.
So up until this point, it's just been you versus the enemies in the station. But the enemies in the station have their own enemies.
The Vanduul neighbors who really don't like these guys for some reason will come in and wreak havoc on everything.
And they're not going to discriminate between you and the station. They're out for blood. When you alert the Vanduul by destroying the power core that the station's now vulnerable, you're on a time limit. Vanduul are coming, they're going to come hard, they're going to keep coming, you're going to have one hell of a fight.
tactical strike groups. And personally,
Can you hear me now? Sorry about that, Vulcan. Can you guys hear me now? Any luck? Double checking. Can you guys hear me? Still the same problem? All right, I'll try to fix that if that's the deal. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, okay. Well, that sucks. All right, I'll work on it then. See what's going on with Restream next time. So we are going to go ahead and pick though. Perfect. Competitions active. We're on. Two winners unpicked. We're going to draw the winners now. Remember, you must be on. Here, you may be a long delay. Okay. Thanks, Ref Gaming. Yeah, I think it was YouTube for some reason. They weren't hearing me on YouTube, but they said the delay is super long, so I'll have to check on that for sure. I am using Restream, not the best at that right now, so we'll see. But we are drawing now, and Orion, if you're in chat, you did win the night camo backpack. So make sure you send me that email just to confirm. Congratulations. And then if we have a Brown Kate 2480 online, they did win the other. So I'll give a few minutes so you guys can claim that. Orion, you won the night camo. Just make sure you send me, or that backpack, the night camo backpack. Perfect. Yeah. Just make sure you confirm that address, email address again. Perfect. And then Brown Kate, is Brown Kate online? It looks like she or they joined in from X. I'll give them another minute. If not, we are going to re-roll the other backpack. And thanks again, guys, for jumping on and keeping me updated on the microphone thing there. All right. I think we're just going to re-roll it if I can remember how to do it specifically. All right, we're going to repick now. That is not a real email address, so we're going to repick again. Silver Teed from YouTube, are you in chat? Silver Teed. Give you another 2 minutes. Thanks again for hopping on, guys. Today, I think we had a few people sign up. So just remember that if you do sign up for one of these, you just have to be on stream for the giveaway. So if you're not, then we're just gonna redraw again. Silver Teed, are you there? All right, we're gonna go ahead and redraw this again, guys. Beer Crate, Agent 00 Fox, are you on? Nobody on? We'll just keep going. Martin Wolf at AOL.com. Is Martin Wolf in chat? Martin Wolf. Is Martin Wolf in chat? All right, we'll keep going. You guys got to make sure everybody's on. Toscano Photo. From Twitch. Yeah, you're not lying. I'm not actually sure we're gonna get through this, but I'm gonna give it one more go. Vulcan, did you hop in any of the giveaways? Rough Gaming. If not, I may just repick one more time, and then we'll give the person a few days. Valentigen. All right, guys. I think we're just gonna cut it. So I'll try to get a hold of that guy. Yeah, just to tell you who's here. I actually don't know on Restream how to see who's online. So I'll have to double check that. I'll definitely have it for next time around. But we'll see if this guy doesn't pick this up, then we'll just we'll redraw next week as well. So appreciate you guys hopping on. Not too much other than what we went over today. Roundup. We do have an op going on now. Other than the op, I think I have what happened in Star Citizen this week that is going to happen Sunday afternoon. And then we also are going to start doing some European ops during the week on European time, probably CEST, as well as North American time. So we're trying to get in, get some more people in our org. We do have the Daymore rally coming up, like I said at the beginning. That's going to be the first. I think the registration ends the 1st of January. Looks like the race is going to be the 24th, so we'll probably start training in November as well for that. But yeah, thanks everybody for hopping on, and I will see you guys next week for sure. Thanks, guys.